This week, Shelty sees an unfortunate end in Race A. Race B sees an Alfa Romeo with nitrous. And in Race C, I have an unfortunate end as to send somebody to the realms. Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Gran Turismo Weekly Race Guide. This is the first one of 2023, and I wish you all the best for this year. Hopefully, some of your dreams come true, some wins for you, and maybe something crazy as well that will benefit your life. However, what will benefit your life, hopefully, is this weekly race guide, as we are here at Tsukuba in the Mazda Roadster, the brand new one, the 2022 car. Let's have a look at our race details then. We're racing 8 laps here at Tsukuba. Here's the grid start with the false start check. We're on the comfort soft tyres and the bop is on. So no tuning. You can obviously design it with a wing if you want to. However, you can just park the car and jump straight into the race. Now, before you jump to the race, there are some timestamps there for you. So if you want to skip race A, you go to B or C. They're the timestamps for you. However, we're not skipping anything. We're jumping into this race and looking at all the races because we have some fun races this week. Let's jump to it now. Here we are then at the start. Shelter's in this, Dot Brown's in this as well. Hello to both of you as we get ready for the race in our TCR liveried Mazda here. So I'll put traction control on 1. I'm not sure it's needed. Let's have a look at traction control here. I'm using the handbrake as well as we set off. No, it's not really needed there, so don't worry about it too much. No idea what happened behind there, but somebody span round already, even though there's no grip issues. Anyway, let's get into this race then. Heading towards turn 1. I was on the inside here. Very worried if I was going to get punted. But Shelty's behind me. There's no need to worry here. As we come through the corner, then we're going to get onto the back of Leone here. As we go through the left, and Leone's actually back on through. So just braking early here, getting out the way of the pack a little bit, and allowing any carnage to ensue. So the only slightly into Nutella there. I was like, okay, well, let's get on the inside here. Made a position. Happy days. As we then head towards this right-hander. And we're driving around the outside. Doesn't quite work. Nutella decides to hit my rear quarter there. Not very nice, but we catch it as we continue down towards the hairpin then with Nutella on our inside. So we're going to give up that position for now as they go way too deep. And I try and get on the inside. It doesn't quite work out. Too much oversteer. And fortunately, we catch the rear end, but Shelty's going to go through there. Happy days for Shelty there. Look at that livery. TCR! Yeah! No, big things for TCR this year, so if you do want to join, check out the description. Phantom goes through as well in a very dinted Mazda. Look at that. Look how many dints on that rear quarter. My word. As we go through this right-hander then, and we're down to P9 here. So not the greatest of starts, but we'll see what we can do as we head towards turn 1, then in towards the braking zone we go. Phantom leaving the door wide open here. I look at it, and then Phantom covers it back off, or technically comes back on to the racing line there, so I do back out of it. I would have had every right to stay there, if I'm honest with you. However, it's all good. We carry on racing through the right-hander we go. Oh, somebody's binned it there. Who's that? Rico has gone there. So if you know the movie reference, put it in the comments. As we head down towards the right-hander then. And Nutella Blaster just absolutely gets on the rear quarter of Leone there. Spins them round. So Nutella not having much joy in terms of punting people there, because literally they're constantly just hitting that rear quarter, which is going to spin people around. Need to back off a little bit, not hit the people on that rear quarter. So Shelty avoids Nutella there, like you should do, and representing TCR perfectly here, Shelty. I was going to bump draft, but then I thought, a bit too close to the braking zone here, so I'll back out of it for now. I'll just try and follow Shelty through as we stick on the left-hand side here. And Phantom trying to go around the outside of Shelty. Now, I recognise what was happening here, so I let off. Shelty brakes, gets out of it, and it does very well there. Phantom and Nutella come together, and you can see what's happening here right now. As Nutella comes back on, I was like, oh no. Kept turning, punts Shelty for reasons unknown to science as Nutella Blaster. I get hit from the rear end there, which sends me right deep into this corner as we go through here. And they're trying to catch the car at this point, and we actually keep the position. That's the reason for that contact there. But the Nutella Blaster's caused 2 spins now, so as I say, you need to calm it down. I don't think it's dirty driving, more just bad driving here. You know, it's hard to see the difference sometimes, but definitely bad driving there, because otherwise they would have punted me, and they didn't. Right, Phantom goes a little bit deep there into turn 1, and we're getting down the inside here, up into P4 then, and that's us in P4. Let's try and advance a bit further on. Do we catch up to anybody else? At the moment, P2, P3, just out in the distance there, so not looking too good. We've been getting faster slaps lap after lap here, but the French driver spins it on the corner. Regnard there, so hey, we up into a podium position. TCR podium on the cards. Also fastest lap there. 10.0. Definitely 9's possible in the race as we go through the right-hander then. Now, you may have noticed the car up ahead cut a little bit too much, and they got a 0.5 penalty. Now, if we're within 1 second, we get that place. So that is the goal here. We're 1.1 seconds off P2 at the moment. If we get inside that gap of 1 second, it's our position. Remember, it rounds up that penalty at the finish line, and it's too late for them to take it. Here we go then. 1 second. We're just under 1 second now as we head towards the last corner. I just have to nail this. I just have to nail it. In we go then. I got a little bit aggressive here. I'm trying to bounce the car, maintain that speed above 70 miles an hour. Beautifully done here. We leave that corner. Gap under 9 tenths here. It's just gone above. Do we get it at the line? We do indeed. We're finishing P2. I'm really happy with that result. We got fastest lap as well. Really nice car to drive, actually. Really nice car. It'd be nice to use this car tyre combo on different circuits as well. Let's have a look at a lap guide then. Heading towards turn 1. I'm using the start of the soundproofing, or the solid concrete there that you can see on the left-hand side. You can use a 50-meter board if you want, but I'm using that as I come into the braking zone. Now, you want to sort of ease off the braking as you head towards the apex, and then just accelerate through the corner. The car should stay stable. If it doesn't, you're just lifting off the brake a bit too quickly, and you just have to judge that accordingly. But it will settle down through the corner, and it allows you to put your foot down on the exit. Head towards the hairpin as the curb protrudes into the circuit, where it comes into the circuit the most. That is my braking point. I want to straight line the braking all the way here, and then ease off the braking. Again, start to accelerate, bounce the car, and it won't wheel spin. Look at that. Beautiful. It just grips and grips and grips. Head towards this right-hander then. It's lifting and turning before the orange turns to white there on the left-hand side. Very easy marker here, but I'm just lifting at this point, trying to get the car to go into the corner, and then I'll accelerate through the corner like so there. It bounces the car out. Easy as anything there. So through the left we go. Let's flat out this, of course. And we're going to head down towards the hairpin then. And you have 2 brake markers. You can either use the lights on the right-hand side or the 50-meter board on the left-hand side. Whichever one you choose. As that hits the edge of your screen, hit the brakes. Very simple, very easy as we do this then. So I actually broke a little bit too early there, but notice I'm keeping it tight. I'm using the camber of that hairpin, and then I accelerate out of the corner nice and easy. Use the camber where it's available to you. So we're going to head towards the last corner now, and you can be quite aggressive on this last corner if I'm honest with you. So what I'm using here is I'm actually going to use that pit board there. As the pit board hits the edge of my screen, that's when I'm going to start to brake. And you see I've already started to lift here because obviously we've just freeze framed it, but literally I'm about to hit the brakes, drop it to 3rd gear, and my goal here is to maintain above 70 miles an hour. If I do that, I'm going to make the corner fine. I can accelerate through the corner, and that is a lap guide of Tsukuba in this Mazda Roadster. Let's jump to race B. And welcome to Watkins Glen. It's the full circuit, this one, and as you can see, we are in Group 4 machinery. Now, you're looking at footage from the TCR lobbies. We do these every week where we can. 1 race of each of the new daily races, and it allows everyone to get a little bit of practice just before we kick off the week of actual races. Let's have a look at the race details then. Here for Watkins Glen, we're racing 5 laps. It's a rolling start. We're on the racing medium tyres. Thank you, PD. That's good. And we're in Group 4. So the bop is on. Of course, it's on. Now, I actually use the GTR in the race because that is the meta car. The Alpha is usable. The problem is on the straights, you're going to struggle a little bit with that GTR. Let's jump to the race then. Let's have a look exactly what happens, and you'll have a lap guide right at the very end. Here we are then at the start. Doc Brown continuing racing with us here, so shout out to you again as we get ready to kick off the race. So we start in the corner. Not the greatest of rolling starts, but everybody should be able to just flat out go as we continue on the Alpha. As you can see, very quick at the start. Really good at accelerating. The GTR is slow at accelerating, so it amplifies that as the Alpha goes down the inside. Now, I was very scared the Alpha going down the inside, but some beautiful racing here from the Spaniard there, Pasitalotes. I hope I pronounced that right. Apologies if not. But yeah, some beautiful racing there. As we go into this left-hander, little contact up ahead. So we're going to take full advantage of Doc Brown there in that Mines GTR. As we head towards this right-hander then, do we get it stopped in time? We do indeed. And that's going to be us up into P15. In fact, offered there. Just gets it all wrong. It looks like we're going to be up into P12. Making some progress there. Oh, we've got a penalty as well in the distance. That's Franchi. And where are they going? And the Red Bull machine goes to the left. We go to the right. And we're going to get it stopped here. As offered there. Just outbrakes themselves into that right-hander. P11. Where did we start? P14. Up to P11. I'll take those. They're good numbers to increase on a per lap basis. Up ahead, we've got a penalty for the French driver. We've got Chicken Angel as well. A shout out to you. You did say hello in the lobby. It's literally like a mimic of the previous lap with Doc Brown there. Chicken Angel just getting a little bit wrong. Heading towards this right-hander, goes defensive, and I'm going to try around the outside. Very difficult move to pull off because it is a 180 corner. However, we just have enough grip there to maintain that car overlap, and we do get it done. Good racing there with Chicken Angel. Thank you for that good racing. Lion takes the penalty then. Up into P9. Again, good progress so far in this race. We're not actually seeing carnage, which is nice. Into the last corner we go. P8 there just gets it slightly wrong. I'm going to use all my momentum here to go past P8, and we're going to be starting lap 3 in the P8. And hopefully we can come across. Can we come across? Not quite here. You've got to worry about netcode and ping and all that good stuff. Not close enough to come back across. But we are up into P8. Now it's all about catching up to P7. Phantom, who has a penalty here. Phantom with a penalty. And we've got a good run there. Oh, they're going to hit barrier. Be careful of that corner. That is a very common mistake on any game as well. As we look down the left-hand side here, we had to really turn sharply again. There's a little bit of rubbing there. That's all good, though, in my opinion, as we go into this right-hander. Slight contact again. Nothing major here. This is just racing. A little bit of contact, especially early on in the week, is expected, but some good racing so far. However, Phantom, you have a penalty. I didn't expect you to start going for this move because you're costing yourself time here. Now, you have every right to go for this move, but you are costing yourself positions behind. Remember, you've got the penalty. I haven't got the penalty here. So anytime we lose now means that you're going to lose out later on. So I was like, okay, I'm going to have to defend this as much as I can. Just go through the right and the left-hander. And then we're looking here. Now, I knew they'd go for the move here, so I stuck towards the right-hand side because I didn't want them to go for it. And they misjudged it. They misjudged that. They thought I was going to go left. I didn't. I stayed there. So they actually bump drafted me, which helped me out massively. It means I have a good speed into this corner. I have no overlap there, and I can just take it as aggressive as I have done right there. So we're in P7. We're doing really well here. I'm enjoying this. Final lap then. We catch up to Marcus. And Marcus has been trying to hold me off here this lap. So in towards the right we go. We're right at the end of the lap. And we get a good run out of this corner. Marcus went a little bit deep. I went a bit weird on the brakes, but I had a good exit. And it is all about the exits here. So we continue through this left-hander. Marcus just goes a bit deep again. Gets a slow exit. We just get on the inside here of the German as we head towards the left-hander here. I have to brake because there is a car on my outside once again. And we leave just enough room there for the GTR. Now, I wanted to come across here. Do I come across? I do indeed. Marcus felt he couldn't go for that. Well played, Marcus. Some brilliant racing right at the end as well. A good race. I thoroughly enjoyed this race. Going home in that cursed position that we know is all too well from Steve. And I have it as well, apparently. But yeah, P6. Brilliant race there with Marcus. We had some good racing with Chicken Angel as well. Phantom, it was good racing. Although, you know, you finished P12 there. Maybe you could have improved there without the racing with the penalty. Who knows? Lap guide time, 200 foot board on the left-hand side is your brake marker for turn 1. Now, I'm in the Alpha for this lap guide. However, in the GTR, it's the same brake markers. I use the same brake markers everywhere all the time. You know, in Group 3, it's the same marker because you're carrying more speed, but you've got better grip because of all the downforce. That's all nice and easy. Don't run too wide at first corner, of course. If you're over the curb, you're going to get a penalty. Heading towards the bus stop then, you can either use the 300 board or the Marshall box. Now, I'm more used to using the Marshall box, which is why I highlight it more here, because it's just a bigger object to notice. You come into here, be careful of the car. Just getting a bit squirrely like it did there. Going through here, you can just flat out it in Group 4 and it should stick, no problem. Going into here then, you have that first piece of tarmac there on the right-hand side. That is your initial accelerating marker. You got 2 here. So that's your first one. You look at it and you go, okay, I'm going to start hitting the accelerator. I'm at quarter there. I notice the I love NY Marshall box down the right-hand side. That is my actual accelerator marker. That's the point where I need to go. I need to be 100% at this point to get around the corner as fast as possible, if I can speak. And I do there, no problem. Head over to the right-hand side, and you've got the 200 board there. That's what I use. Now, I didn't realize the grate is in Gran Turismo. I mentioned in the Essential Course video it wasn't, but it is, and you'll see that in a second. But the 200 board is what I use here as we go into this. Now, accelerating markers here. You've got where the fence comes close to the Armco on the left, or you can use where the fence actually finishes on the right-hand side as it hits the center of your screen. They're both good markers, so you can use them to accelerate out the corner, knowing you will make the corner. So another good little tip there for you. I haven't shared that in previous videos, but there it is. Heading up towards this right-hander. Remember, you're going uphill into the braking zone. You can brake so late. So use the 100 board there on the left-hand side, or the billboard if you want to use that. You can brake so late. Now, the car will get a bit squirrely because you're going very aggressive on the brakes. Accelerate very early out of the corner. You got a little bit of runoff there that you can use. And we're going to accelerate now towards the final few corners then. So we're looking on the left-hand side. We have a 300 board, we have a 200 board, and we have a 100 board. You're braking in the middle of the 200 and the 100 board. You can use the caravan on the left-hand side in the race. However, in practice mode, you don't have that. So brake slap bang in the middle here of those boards. Now, be careful on exit. You don't want to run too wide. You will get a penalty. So you can use the curb, of course, but it's not that big. So just be careful there. Now, the 100 board on the right-hand side is your brake mark here. And again, you're going uphill, so it allows you to brake that much later. You know, if you are trying to push the braking, uphill corners are the best place to do it because it slows you down even more. As you go through this left, be careful on exit. We saw that in the race with someone meeting barrier. I think it was Phantom, wasn't it? Heading towards this left, you just want to lift for this one. Obviously, if you're on the inside of someone, you'll have to brake a little bit. But just lift and turn in before that 100 board there on the right-hand side. Very easy to do. Now, it can be quite easy to actually go over aggressive on the throttle there. Just be careful of that. Head over towards the left-hand side. Your final markers there are the lamppost on the right-hand side or the billboard. Trying to get as close to that billboard as possible. You won't hit it at the edge of your screen, but try and get closer. It's a good marker to use here. You notice I brake just before it hits the edge of the screen there. Really push on through the camber of that last corner and then head towards the line. And that is a lap of Watkins Glen. And that is it for race B. Let's jump to race C. We are back in Australia there now for race C, which does mean Bathurst, of course. It's the only Australian track we've got. Can we have some more PD? Can we have some more? Hey, let's see. Anyway, we are in Group 3 machinery, which does mean the GTR is going to be the meta car again. It's the Nissan Galore this week, or Galar if you're in Australia, I suppose. Let's look at the race details then. We're racing 10 laps here at Bathurst. It's a rolling start and it's a bad one. Racing medium and hard tyres both are required, so do keep that in mind. Times 3 fuel, times 8 tyre wear, and of course, the bop is on. When is it not on for Group 3? Now, as I say, I chose the GTR because I knew it would be the best and the strongest. It is the best and the strongest. Let's jump to the race then, because this race has a lot of deaths. A lot of deaths. Enjoy! We are then at the start. We've got Key in here. Do check out Key's YouTube channel. It does streams every single day, including on Monday as well. But here we go in that Nissan GTR. And look, literally, really bad rolling start. They really need to sort this out with the rolling starts. They did have a phase of sorting it, but we're back to square one, apparently, of them trying to fix it. They are on holiday this week, though, PD, so maybe it was just a bit of a rush to get the second week done. Right, through the left-hander we go, and Cheesy just gets it wrong there in the AMG. Interesting car to pick. It's not too bad. We're using it in the manufacturer, of course. However, the GTR is the stronger car here. So head over the crest of the hill, and Cheesy's going to pull over to the right-hand side and actually let me go here, which is very kind, Cheesy. We could have raced, of course, but yeah, thank you very much for that. So we're back behind Key 25. Through the right we go. I'm going to actually advance a bit further on in the lap then. Because, of course, there's always the yellow flag going down the mountain, and this race is no exception there. Oh, it's Max Power with the spinneroony down the mountain. I nearly said mountain-rooney then. But, yeah, we're up into P13. Now, I'd sort of let off here and just bump draft Key. I didn't want to full-on hit him because that would cause damage. But, yeah, there was a lot of stopping there in the middle of the mountain from cars up ahead. So we continue on down then. Now, this race, you've seen one death, has many deaths, okay? It has many deaths. There is actually one lap in particular, which you will see later on. We've got Fake Brit here asking why there, down in the bottom left. Not sure what's going on there. But even so, they're taking a penalty. So we're up into P12. And once again, behind Key as we enter that braking zone for the first time of 10. Through the left we go, and we're looking to try and get a good exit there. We do get a good air. Whoa, a little bit of... Ooh, somebody's off there. Who's that? Hyper Lemon. I'm a bit of a Hyper Lemon as we head down towards this left-hander then. And we're trying around the outside on Key. Very hard to go around the outside on this circuit. It really is, but Key nails it there beautifully. Leaves space on the outside as well. Very clean racing there from Key. As we continue on to lap 2 then. We have Max Power behind us in the Porsche. Oh, what's going on here? Bit of carnage there from Boomer, B-Boss, and I don't know what else is kicking off. It's all kicking off up ahead. Here we go then. So I'm in the slipstream of Key. I want to stay in that slipstream of Key if I can. Boss comes over there just to get in there. And I'm going to stay on this right-hand side here because I know the inside line is the much quicker line here for this corner. We're just got to be careful because everybody is everywhere here. And Boss gets it all sorts of wrong there. So we're going to take that position up into P10 we go. We have Boomer and Mike ahead as well. Key just gets us around the outside of Boomer. Boomer backs out of that. Good racing from Boomer there as we come into the braking zone. And this is a corner where you will see a lot of spins as well. The GTR likes to spin its wheels on that corner. Right, let's skip the mountain because nobody bins it this time. And we're right behind Boomer. And you can't overtake on the mountain either. So you're sort of like line astern unless one bins it. So we're going to have slipstream here right behind Boomer. Down the inside we go of Boomer then. Looking to get this move done before the chase. And yes, it's done and dusted. In towards the braking zone we go. Although I brake a tiny bit too late. In fact, way too late as I head off to the realms. I was worried about a reset here. But, you know, I control the car. I come back on in a very good manner. And, yeah, we're back down to P11 here with Fake Brick catching me very quickly behind. Obviously, I'm going to have dirt on my tyres. So I'm going to have to go a little bit defensive here to maintain this P11 position as we go through the left-hander. As you can see, the dirt really having an impact there on acceleration. Full-on oversteer there. Power oversteer. As we start lap number 3 then, in towards the braking zone we go. And we're just going to trick it in, get up the inside of the corner. There's a bit of camber there, it helps us. Fake Brick gives us a bit of bump draft there. Thank you very much. As we continue on out. So, look at that rear view mirror here. I get a bit confused. I see it flashing to think, oh, okay, Fake Brick's going to bump draft me. But no, goes towards the left side, goes to that move instead. So, I think just saying hello. So, I then, you know, keep my defensive line here on the inside. Because, again, as I always say, the outside line at Bathurst does not work on this corner, okay? It never works. Never, ever has worked. You have to have some miracle to make it work there. And, yeah, we keep the position. We advanced to lap 4. People pitted on lap 3. I decided to pit on lap 4 here. I found that the hard tyres were just... They actually caused more wear than the mediums because you're spinning the wheels a lot, etc. So, yeah, I jumped to the mediums. A bit of a different transition this time than our old transitions. You know, new year, different things in the video. Heading down the mountain then, we have Fusa. It's lap 7 now, so it's been a bit quiet after that, all the action earlier on. But Fusa decides to plant the wall and meets barrier there. So we're up into P10. We should probably say defense instead, you know. Have our own little saying. Defense there, Fusa meets. Now, welcome to the lap of death. This one has all sorts in it. Come into here, we have a yellow flag. Who's been there? It's Key. Key is off into defense. I nearly said it again as we leave that corner. So up into P10 we go. I'm thinking, excellent. Here we could get a P5, maybe a P4. There might be some hard runners up ahead. And, you know, our medium tyres have got plenty of life in them here. So maybe you can even pit on lap 3 or even lap 2. Some people did pit on lap 3. Maybe go for lap 2, get out of all the traffic very quickly. Who knows? Because there's always a lot of carnage. Right, next up, Death. There's Max Power going full sideways down the mountain. Actually saves it. Actually saves. Unbelievable save there from Max Power. So not a Death, just a half Death there. Continue on through then into P6. And we did see Chris in distance as well. Chris Forces, we raced them last week, I believe, where they were very quick at Daytona. Through the left we go then. Continue on out. And we're right behind Mike here. We're going to be in the slipstream of this Beetle. Beetle not very quick in a straight line. GTR, Godzilla, very quick in a straight line. Here we go then in the slipstream. They head over to the left-hand side. And I was like, okay, I'm going to go for the move here. Get this job done nice and early. So in towards the right we go. And in we go here. And I just clipped the curb in the wrong way. Because Mike sort of turned in, I turned in a bit more. And yeah, it's my fault. Don't get me wrong. I hit the curb and I send Mike to the realm there. Mike's continued on. I'm trying to judge times here. Notice it says 7 seconds to Fake Brits. I think, oh, excellent. But no, there's still cars coming there. So apologies to Key and Fusa there. The timing on the left was all sorts of wrong. Otherwise, I would have waited, of course. A little bit longer, but I don't know why it said 7 seconds. So I need to maybe look at the map rather than the timings. But even so, we carry on. And it was our fault that I did apologise after race to Mike. Because it is what it is. You know, it's a mistake. There we go. We got another Death there. That's Fake Brit. We got catch up to Key again. So I'm not sure what's happened to Key in all of this. We've got Fake Brit saying, I'm sorry. Yeah, no idea what's going on. As I say, this race has just lots of crashes and all sorts. So there's a penalty in there as well for somebody. I can't remember who it was. It's left-hander there. We're coming towards the end of the race now as we continue on through. Oh, we got Fusa there, and we've actually overtaken Mike there for P10. I got very confused at the end of this race because I was like, how is Mike behind me? I know Mike carried on after the incident because otherwise I would have waited. I saw he was still in P6, but yeah, that is the reason for that one. We're actually going to go in P8 after all of that carnage. We come on in P8. I have no idea how. I reckon we could have had a podium in that race if we, didn't hit the curb and send Mike the realm. So apologies, Mike. I did apologise in the lobby after as well. Mistakes happen. It's how you come back from the mistakes. And as I say, I will always apologise. Let's jump to that lap guide. So we kick off the lap, of course, with the start finish straight. Heading towards turn 1 then. You can use the lamppost on the right, but you're braking just before that hits the edge of your screen. Or in the race, you've also got the fence on the left. You know, you can use the defense there. As it ends, you can use that as a brake marker. Now, you want to use all the camber on the inside. There's a little bit of a dip there, and it really helps the car get round. Be careful on exit. There's always oversteer on that exit. Let's fast forward now towards the next corner, where you're using the end of the tarmac on the left-hand side. The end of the tarmac. We're on medium tyres here, remember, so it's a bit more grippy than using the hards. So yeah, the left-hand side, you can use a gap in the fence if you want, but I use the tarmac here. Get it really on the inside here. You need to be on the inside as much as possible there. Use the exit. You can go as close to the barrier as you want there. As you head up this hill, this is where you're going to lift off a little bit here, and you're basically looking to brake as you see that straight line there. It's a really straight line. It curves and goes straight. I've highlighted that straight bit. that's when you want to brake. Be careful about running too deep there and heading into barrier or defense. So through here, you'll get wheel spin as you go over the crest of the hill. Be careful, same as you do that here. And as you head up towards this right-hander, you got a tree there on top of the hill. The nice, lovely tree. They're not removing that tree and no one can crash into it. Literally, slight lift if you're a bit scared, but turn in just before that hits the edge of your screen. Notice it works lovely. In fact, I get a bit too much there with a curb, and it forces me around a bit more. All through here, you might want a slight lift for this curb. It will trick you around a little bit as well. And as you head towards the crest of this hill, you got the curb here. Lift off before you hit this curb, okay? It bounces the car. If you're accelerating the fronts up, you're about to go over a jump, it's going to lift the front even more. If you lift off, it bounces the car, and you can go through absolutely fine. Think about weight transfer as you go over that crest of the hill. Heading down here, we've got 3 points here. So you can use the building on the right. You can use the RDR8 sign, and you're aiming for that barrier right there because you will understeer as you get a little bit of airtime there going on the brake. So straight line braking here. Every time you get in a straight line brake, go over to the right side. Before that curb ends on the right, chuck it left into the dipper. If you nail it perfectly, you'll get a penalty. But most people will not nail it perfectly, ever. You chuck it in. You can cut more than I do there. And then accelerate out the corner. Be careful of oversteers. You see the car get a little bit wiggly. Right, we've got the black to white transition on the right-hand side for defense. And literally, when you get to that point, you might want to dab the brake or just lift. And essentially what you're trying to do is get over to the right-hand side as much as possible. Now, I'm in the center here, so I'm really having to slow the car down a lot for Forrest's elbow there. But remember, brake in a straight line. Only brake in a straight line, otherwise the car will do funny things. Heading towards Chase 10 through this right, flat out. And then as you head towards this braking zone here, you have the 150 board or Signavant or sign event. Obviously, we're just talking about old memes here. So the V in that word there, that is what I've used as the brake marker in the past. So unless you're on hard tires in the slipstream, then make sure you brake a little bit earlier. Through there, be careful on exit, of course. You will get a bit of oversteer. We saw a lot of oversteer in the race. Heading towards the last corner then, on the right-hand side, you have a big old tree. And just like the tree earlier on, no one's chopping this down and nobody's crashing into it. So literally, just before that hits the edge of your screen, start to brake. Now, don't chance yourself with late braking here. Obviously, it's a little bit downhill, so the later you brake, the more it will increase in terms of going too deep. That is it, and lap guide of Bathurst. Now it's time for the bloopers! Here we go then. What happened at the start of it? Race A, let's find out. So Dot Brown starts, Phantom doesn't. Dot Brown goes around. Nothing Dot Brown could do there. Phantom just didn't start. So yeah, that's what happened there. Now we get into the real gritty bit here. So obviously Nutella Blaster went wide at the hairpin. Phantom goes down the inside. Then there's another tap from Phantom there. And Nutella goes full blast now across the grass, which is always going to end in disaster. And then turns right there on Shelty and punts Shelty. I'm not sure if that was to try and punt Phantom, but it didn't quite work. I get punted from behind, which is why I go deep suddenly, if you heard that contact. We'll leave this corner, and this is just oversteer moment. That's not trying to pump me there. So, yeah. Oh, craziness in that incident. Poor Shelty got left, hung out to dry out of all of that. Into the right we go with the French driver. What did they do? They drifted, and then they failed the drift and spins around there as we go by into P3 and eventually P2. Right, what's next? Max Power. What happened here? Whoa, my word, does he catch it? No, he doesn't. So there's no race B bloopers because I didn't really see anything. So yeah, we're into race C, which has lots of bloopers. Of course it does. So yeah, Max Power just touching the grass there, which does spin you around at the top of the mountain. Right, we're on board with Key then. This is lap 8. This is where all the disasters started happening. Through the left we go. And Key just taps that left rear there on the invisible barrier that we know exists or doesn't exist. But now we do know, and gets another 1.5 second penalty to boot there. As continues on out. Right, Max Power later on in the very same lap. Worried about doing the grass thing. Goes onto the grass this time to stop the wheel spinning. Goes to save it and, well, arguably saves it a little bit better than does Max Power. So like a mini save there. Half death there for you, Max Power. Right, let's go to my death. I killed Mike here. So we're going to be in the slipstream here. We go to that inside. Mike does leave me room there. A bit more room than required. So yeah, completely my fault there. Yeah, sorry, Mike. I did apologize in the lobby as well. And this is where, look, you notice, look, I'm waiting because I know there's a time gap there. And then it says 7 seconds here, so I accelerate. But there's still 2 people to come through. So apologies to Fusa and Key there. I did not mean to do that. I was just going off the time gaps. Anyway, here's Mike's perspective. Turns into the corner. It does leave me room. And there's a slight bump there. He just gets absolutely sent to the realm. I do apologize, Mike. I really do. But hey, we all make mistakes. I say that. And yeah, that is a mistake of mine, as you've seen there. Good return to track there from Mike. And continue on with the racing. I think Dot Brown's about to come past in the old Mustang there. In the Oreo Mustang. Right, let's advance further on there. Now, what happened with Fake Brit? Now, we did catch up to this group. So, just a bit too aggressive down the mountain. Trying to get off that wall here, but nowhere really to go to slow down the car. Slight tap with key there and waits for key as well. Good sportsmanship there from Fake Brit. Now, finally, what happened to Mike? Because I got very confused with this. Because I'd say at the end, I thought, did Mike get reset or something? I wasn't sure. Releases his brake there, trying to go past max power. Just runs him off the track there. And then loses the rear on the grass there. So similar to what happened. Max power on top of the mountain. Fuster spins himself. Similar situation. But that is the end of that as Mike comes back on circuit. Again, apologies to Mike. But that is it for this week's weekly race guide. I do hope you enjoyed it, folks. Please do check out any of those 2 videos there. Subscribe to the channel to stay in touch with all the latest content. But, folks, that is it for me now. Have a good week's racing. I hope to see you in another video or live stream very, very, very soon.